Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of VHS Roulette. It's 2019, and I think the millennium has come and passed, and we were a little spooked. There isn't one man, woman, or child that wasn't just a little bit scared that when 2000 came along, we weren't all gonna, like, evaporate or grow giant boils out of our chest and mozzarella cheese would start pouring out or we'd start bleeding out of our teeth. Don't lie, you thought about it. You thought about it happening, but it didn't. But there's one film out there that tells us why we didn't all start boiling alive in a river of chocolate pudding. And that's End of Days. Came out in November 1999, so they were really super capitalizing on the whole Y2K fear. That wasn't really a fear, but was kind of hyped up and everything. But yeah, this was Arnold Schwarzenegger's comeback movie after his heart attack, when making Batman and Robin. And everybody remembers that movie. So he had a heart attack, and I think he took 7 years off, 9 years off, something like that, and then he came back to make End of Days, and I remember it coming out. I remember being old enough to see it, but I don't remember caring enough to watch it. I thought I had seen this. I was convinced I had seen this because just in my mind and through trailers and through maybe seeing bits of it on television here and there, I'm like, oh, I've seen that. I have not seen this movie, and wow, there's some heavy stuff that goes on in here. So, Arnold's a little older, a little wiser, a little more refined. What am I talking about? He's the same. He's basically the same in every movie. But in this movie, his name is Jericho because he's always got to have some hilarious Quaid or Matrix or, just, they should just, every movie he's in, he should just be called Schwarzenegger. We know who it is. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm just saying his presence, and yeah, he's kind of a bad actor, but his presence is more than, whatever new stupid name they came up with. For this, Jericho, that kind of works. Anyway, so we have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays like a bodyguard in this movie, but he only protects really high profile good guys or bad guys, I guess, apparently, from the conversation he has with Kevin Pollack, who plays the comic relief. His name is Chicago, whatever. But he's supposed to be playing the comic relief, kind of the Rob Schneider character in this movie, but he is very depressing. Just watching him, you kind of see on his face, he's not 100% into this movie. He looks like he's wearing his own clothes, they didn't even need a dresser for him. He just kind of walked in wearing his ball cap and everything. He just looks like Kevin Pollack. So Arnold's Arnold, Kevin Pollack is Kevin Pollack, and anyway, they're bodyguards. And a couple years ago, let's say 20 years ago, there was this prophecy in the Vatican, and they see this scroll, and it opens up, and it's the eye of God, and a woman's giving birth, and and then this, and it's coming, and then the evil nurse lady brings baby to the basement, and then Udo Kier suddenly has appeared, and he has a rattlesnake, and he guts the fish, and the blood, and then he puts the blood in the baby's mouth, and then prophecy, yada yada, we see the Pope, and the Pope is like a mob pope, like all of the Catholic priests or bishops or anything in this movie, they act and look like they're mob bosses or lower echelon mob guys. So all that's happening, and then we flash into the future of 1999, December 28th, 1999, and there's some construction workers working on a manhole, and then suddenly, earthquake, 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 boom! Fire shoots out of the manhole, boom! Out another one, boom, 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 and then crazy see-through CGI demon pops out from one of the manholes and flies off, and then flies into a fancy restaurant and sucks right into Gabriel Byrne, and he is from then on super evil personification of the devil. They never say the devil, but we kind of assume because end of days, yada yada yada. But they never really say this is Satan or this is, they don't get too deep in the mythology or ideology of the film. Either way, Gabriel Byrne is now possessed with this demon. He walks out of this fancy restaurant, or out of the bathroom rather, up to the table that he was sitting at originally, makes out with the woman. I'm guessing it's not his wife or his girlfriend, because one of the guys gets really upset, but then he just looks at him. And the guy's like, oh, okay. So he keeps making out with this woman, and he takes out her boob while he's making out with her, and he's just squeezing her boob, and I'm like, what an introduction to this guy. What a true... That's not... This movie is kind of, looking forward into the future, because this guy, this Satan-esque guy, is basically all of the Hollywood types that, got put away. Because he does that at the beginning, which is super creepy. He says a lot of things to, the chosen one, which I'll tell you about later, like, this is what you want, and stuff like that. Just a lot of really, disgusting Harvey Weinstein stuff that... Anyway, so that happens. He makes out with the woman. He walks out of the restaurant, blows up behind him, and you're like, okay, so that's Satan. Anyway, so we find out Jericho. We see Arnold Schwarzenegger's at home in his apartment. He's got a gun to his head. He's like, and then Kevin Pollack shows up. We got a job. We're watching this guy. He's a bad guy, but we're going to watch him because, we're bodyguards. They go down there. Turns out to be Gabriel Byrne. And some guy takes a pot shot at Byrne. Arnold Schwarzenegger jumps in front of him. Pop, pop. Gets hit a couple times in the chest. Of course, he's wearing a bulletproof vest. There shouldn't be a pause in the movie where you're worried about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, oh, wait, is he dead? Did he really get shot? Don't pause, movie, okay? Don't slow down so we have to wait. And then Kevin Pollack's like, oh, I hope you wore the bulletproof vest. Of course he fucking wore the bulletproof vest. Of course it's in there. It's 20 minutes into the movie. Anyway, so basically Jericho he's really upset about his wife and daughter getting killed. It's never really gotten into in the movie. You see at one point Gabriel Byrne tempts him and is like, hey, I could bring back your wife and daughter. And then he's like, no! And so Gabriel Byrne basically shows him what happened to them, and it doesn't explain anything. Just some guys come in and kill them. Okay, why? Why? Anyway, a lot of stuff, not really explained. So we got Gabriel Byrne, the man, the evil guy. We got Jericho, Arnie, Kevin Pollack, his partner, and things are starting to roll, and then we meet up with Christine York, who is the chosen one, who was born in 1979. Basically, God, this movie's creepy because she was born to basically have sex with Satan. Satan in human form has sex with Christine, brings about the end of days, but they have to do it like an hour before it becomes 1999. In that hour, roughly somewhere in there, they don't really state on the nose or on the minute, but either way, it's got to happen. So Christine York has been raised by evil nurse and Udo Kier her whole life because she was taken away from her mother and replaced with another one. And she seems pretty cool, except every night she has dreams of having sex with Gabriel Byrne, which, you know what? He's not the worst guy to have dreams about, but a little variety would be nice, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, she starts getting chased by this order of evil, well, not evil, but kind of radical priests that just want to kill her because they're like, well, if we kill her, then, Satan will never have sex with her and there won't, it won't rain nacho cheese and we won't all have bubbling boils and all that stuff. So they decide they're going to go after her and kill her. Jericho, who's been following all these clues after he chased the guy that tried to shoot Gabriel Byrne, and he had this insane, like, roof-to-roof chase with this guy, where Arnold Schwarzenegger's dangling from a helicopter, and he's just kind of, like, running while the helicopter is floating above, and he grabs the guy right before he jumps off the roof, and then the rope kind of falls, and they're falling together, and the priest is, like, shooting at him in mid-flight and everything, and it's pretty cool. So there's some cool stuff happening, and he finds out that guy's a priest, goes to his priest bunkhouse, and finds this clipping of Christine York. So now Arnie's on the case. He has like police connections because he used to be a cop, of course. Because when you used to be a cop, you can just use all the police resources and everything, so it's all good. So Gabriel Byrne in body form comes to Udo Kier, who has been this caretaker, and he comes to him and he's like, "Oh, is this your wife? Is this your daughter?" And the next minute, it's a three-way between Gabriel Byrne and his wife and his daughter. It's just really creepy. And then Christine York wakes up. There's a lot of her in this movie, just like, oh God, seeing the, horrible satanic things and everything. Anyway, Arnold's following the clues. He gets to her, and then the rest of the movie is just kind of this chase with the kind of bad priests that want to kill her, demon Gabriel Byrne coming after her, wanting to have sex with her, and then they meet up with, finally, some good priests. Rod Steiger from In the Heat of the Night, On the Waterfront. This guy's been in shitloads of movies, and he's actually pretty good in this movie, and I guess this was his last U.S. theatrical movie. Which is sad because I think he's pretty good. But again, he plays like a mafia priest. All of the priests in this movie are part of the mafia. I don't know what this movie's trying to say, but it's saying it pretty loudly. Anyway, so they meet up with him. He starts telling them about the prophecy and how basically she's supposed to have sex with yada yada. And he's like, so, in the Bible, how it says the number of the beast is 666. And they're like, yeah, we know that. Well, it's not exactly right. They got it upside down. And then he flips a paper that says 666 to say 999. Nice. But by that, he means 1999, which, okay, great. Wonderful. So that explains everything, and then from then on, it's just like this shoot 'em up, explosion-y, boom, 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 Kevin Pollack's dead, and then he's back, and then you're like, okay, Arnold, don't trust Kevin Pollack because we just saw him explode, but he trusts him anyway. And then there's, demon worshippers, and all of these things are happening. There's this great, not last, but one of the other great action set pieces is on a subway train, and there's some really cool things when the demons like trying to get in and grabbing onto everything. Anyway, this is not a scary movie by any means. It is very action packed. It's interesting. It's like a cool action movie, but with dark Catholic themes, but they're not really trying to get too religious on it. They're just trying to use the end of the world and Catholicism as like kind of a jumping off point to create this interesting, just action packed extravaganza. So there isn't really a lot of thought going into why this is happening or if it's believable or anything. Either way, there's a little bit at the beginning where they're trying to make it very dark, but it's just too much of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie to be to be very dark, which is fine. I have to say, for what it was, even though it's 2 hours long, for what it was enjoyable. I particularly liked Arnold Schwarzenegger being crucified at one point, because of course, when Gabriel Byrne finally has him and has the girl and everything, he doesn't kill Arnold. He's like, You're going to watch the world burn. So overall, it was really fun. There's a couple things that really made me mad. At one point, Arnold, Rod Steiger as Mafia priest, number 8, and Christine York are together, and Arnold's like, You gotta come with me because I can protect you, these people can't. And Rod Steiger's like, No, the only thing that can protect her is faith. And he goes, Between faith and my Glock 9mm, I choose my Glock 9mm. And apparently, this gun that he was using, like it's called the hero gun, basically. So they're using this movie to advertise this new gun, which is a little like fucked up. It's like product placement, but for the newest gun, But that's the 90s for you. Either way, it was entertaining. There's not a lot of real stakes in it. The ending is pretty cool. It's not altogether unexpected, but there is a giant kind of orgasm at the end. A great climax of demon seed spilling forth. So you got that to look forward to. I'm not going to say exactly what happens because it's a lot of fun. And yeah, so I would recommend it. I got this as a birthday gift, and I want to thank you very much, Rain, for giving this to me. I thought I'd seen it, but I hadn't. And this was the special edition, so it also has Rob Zombie music video at the end. So, yes! Anyway, thank you guys for watching VHS Roulette. This was End of Days, and this is the end of the episode. Love you guys. Bye-bye.